It is very possible that Shakur Stevenson has fought his last fight with Top Rank and he won't go back. That's what I want to talk about in this video. Shakur Stevenson just defeated Artem Harutyunyan. There is, now I won't say controversy, but there's some complaints. Not controversy, but complaints. Shakur Stevenson is now a free agent. He remains undefeated, and he posted this. It says, "It's over. Take the L out of lover. They proved to the world numerous of times they can't help a black fighter turn into a superstar. Now watch how much I go up without him." This was, of course, in response to a fan who says, "I can't wait for your Top Rank contract to be over." Now, this is very interesting that we're getting this from Shakur Stevenson, because if you felt this way, because Shakur Stevenson has said this many times recently, he says that Top Rank, they don't know what they're doing with black fighters, basically. I'm just paraphrasing. I read the tweet. You guys seen it. And he's saying they don't know how to handle, they don't put no priority on black fighters, you know, things like this. Very similar, eerily similar to his big bro, Terrence Crawford. And I don't know if there's any influence there, but Terrence Crawford actually filed a lawsuit at a point in time and a complaint with Top Rank after he left them, his former promoter, claiming racial, biases and prejudices, where they would promote the Tyson Furies of the world. They would promote Lomachenko, Naoya Inoue, these type of fighters that were non-black in a different way. Now, we've already heard many stories like this. The late Cameron Duncan, who worked with Terrence Crawford, who worked with Tim Bradley, right? He stated that Top Rank had this alleged NBF list, which represented no black fighters, meaning if they had like a top guy like a Oscar Valdez or whoever that was a non-black fighter, Latino or European or whatever, and they were trying to groom him and build him, they wouldn't even give him to and put him in the ring with certain black fighters that they felt might be too complex for their style. This is what was said to be. So these stories have, and rumors have went on. Floyd Mayweather famously said he had to buy himself out of his contract for $750K because he didn't like where his career was headed with Top Rank. So he made the decision to venture out. And just from what Shakur Stevenson is saying, I'm not Shakur, so the final say is his choice, but it doesn't sound like he's going back to Top Rank based on what he's been saying. He seems like there's some animosity there. He's even said that ESPN and or Top Rank had set him up for failure in his final fight and reported fake numbers. He said the place was sold out, but they said his numbers were lower. Then ESPN cameras showed people leaving the venue before the fight had even concluded because they were bored, things like that. So Shakur has almost these conspiracy theories about why that's the case. And it sounds like he believes the higher ups and the powers that be with Top Rank / ESPN, they're looking to demean and hurt his integrity and hurt his brand on the way out in case he signs to someone else or just because he was entering free agency. So again, I just find it funny that Shakur Stevenson is saying all of this stuff now, but you're the one that signed with Top Rank, And I think there's a lot of content creators and channels who they want to, just point the fingers and be like, oh, Top Rank, this and that. But again, we've heard all of these things well before Shakur even signed to him. And Floyd Mayweather was, at the time, at the 2016 Olympics, he was pursuing Shakur Stevenson. He wanted to sign Shakur Stevenson. And I'm sure other people did too. Shakur chose Top Rank. So I think that's one thing that's oftentimes forgotten. There has to be some accountability for the fighter and their team, because it is a personal choice. Nobody made you sign with Top Rank. Again, Floyd Mayweather has been on record for years, well before Shakur Stevenson was even a pro, and he said the same things that Shakur Stevenson is basically saying about Top Rank, and saying, you know, they did what they could do, but they didn't know how to handle my career. And Shakur even tweeted the day Lomachenko beat Kambosos, he said that Floyd told him a long time ago that Top Rank don't know how to move black fighters, basically. So Shakur is saying it now, but you can blame Top Rank for what you want to blame him for. At the same time, it was a decision for a young Shakur to even give this much of his career to a promoter with this type of rumors or stigmas or whatever Floyd told you or whatever Floyd's put out in the public, because he said he's had private conversations with Floyd Mayweather. So to me, it's really kind of a shared responsibility. And I think people are just pointing the finger at Top Rank. And the other thing is, and this is just being very fair and objective about this whole situation, is Top Rank, like, you know, they have their flaws. That's just what it is. A promotional company have their flaws. I definitely think that they put more energy on the Inoues and Lomachenkos. That's what I've seen. You know, they seem like happier to talk about Navarrete. You listen to the commentary and things like that. But the other angle to that is the fighters have to still make themselves hot. Shakur Stevenson has been fighting his style of fight that hasn't always thrilled fans. So there's also that aspect of it. Shakur Stevenson also like almost argues with fans on Twitter. Like, go to his Twitter right now. He's arguing with fans and saying, y'all some casuals. You don't understand my craft. Great boxing is like jazz music. The better it is, the less it's respected. You know, he's almost beef with media and say he don't like the media. You know what I'm saying? So he hasn't really made himself or his brand like the it commodity between the fighting style and like just the way he's promoted himself. I just don't feel like, even if you're with a promotional company and you see that they're not going above and beyond to push you as a black fighter, there's things you can do to make it undeniable and push the envelope and promote yourself. Like, I feel like you guys like Adrian Broner. I feel like Adrian Broner really was a self-promoter, and he was probably, of this new generation, he was probably one of the first to really do that in that fashion. Like, what I'm saying is Adrian Broner made himself hot. He got it cracking for himself. He didn't have, like, he wasn't necessarily the it guy, but he made himself. He was doing the hairbrush. Oh man, you know, AB, African, American, Dominican. He was doing the can man, and he had the gift of gab, and he was on the mic, and people was paying attention, and he was putting up the performances at 130 and 135 that people had no choice and couldn't front on. So I think there is something to be learned from guys like Adrian Broner when it comes to promotion. Shakur Stevenson, he's a good fighter, but stylistically, his style hasn't resonated with people. Plus, he hasn't made himself like this charismatic character that you gotta see. Like, you know what I mean? There's different ways to go about it. Some extremes like Ricardo Mayorga, self-promoters. And I'm not saying you should be what you're not, but you have to understand this is a business, and Money Mayweather understood this very well. He was fighting bigger people, so he wasn't always going to get the stoppages, but he made for exciting TV one way or another. You know, the 24/7 series that he created was my favorite episodes of 24/7 ever involved Floyd Mayweather, period. You know, so Shakur doesn't really have that dynamic. So you could put it all on Top Rank if you want, but I think there's other things at play. It'll be very interesting to see what Shakur Stevenson decides as a free agent, you know, but it doesn't look like he's going to re-sign with Top Rank based on what he's saying. Ultimately, we shall find out when it is announced. Maybe he tries to stay a free agent and work with different people, like kind of like Devin Haney's done. You know, we'll have to wait and see. But Top Rank looks out. To me, at least, it looks like too much friction, too much chaos. He's blaming them for fronting on his numbers and paying people to leave to try to embarrass him and hurt his brand. So it doesn't look like he's feeling them. But ultimately, the final say goes to Shakur Stevenson. This is his life, his career. We'll see what he decides. Subscribe.